In the old scrolls of the East, it is said that life is not a prison, but a game of infinite moves, and the warrior is the one who learns the rules while others complain about the board. Like steel born in the furnace, your spirit is forged in the fires of failure, discipline, and relentless choice. This is Hagane no Ishi, the will of steel, where your mind becomes the blade, and every hardship is the hammer that shapes it. Understand this: the world will not slow down, fate will not hold your hand, and time shows no mercy, yet inside you lives a player who can bend the game. Tonight, I am not speaking to spectators, I am speaking to warriors. If you are ready to treat life as the ultimate game and hack every level, comment, "I'm ready," subscribe, and stand with this clan of modern samurai. Thank you for being part of a brotherhood and sisterhood that refuses to live soft and die wondering. Mindset shift is the moment you stop seeing life as something happening to you and start seeing it as a game unfolding for you to master. Most people walk through their days like NPCs, reacting, complaining, repeating, living on mental autopilot. A warrior of the mind does the opposite. He understands that every thought is a move, every belief is a code, and every reaction is either a power-up or a slow poison. When you shift your mindset, you stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "How can I use this?" The samurai did not curse the storm, he adjusted his stance, tightened his grip, and sharpened his awareness. This is the core of your shift, from victim to player, from fear to strategy, from doubt to disciplined conviction. You realize your mind is not a cage, but a dojo. Every insult, failure, or rejection becomes a training session. You stop seeing obstacles as walls and start seeing them as levels, waiting to be cleared with better aim, better patience, and better control over your inner dialogue. To truly change your mindset, you must first declare war on your old story. That story that says, "I'm not disciplined, I always fail," or "This is just who I am," is nothing but bad programming. A samurai understands that identity is not fixed, it is forged. Your thoughts are like blacksmiths working on the metal of your personality, day after day, strike after strike. If you constantly repeat weakness, you will live weakness. If you constantly tell yourself that you're lazy, unfocused, or broken, your brain will make that script your reality. The mindset shift begins when you consciously rewrite that script. You choose new words and protect them fiercely. Instead of, "I can't," you whisper, "I'm learning." Instead of, "I'm lost," you say, "I'm on a new path." It's not fake positivity, it's strategic mental positioning. You're not lying to yourself, you're training yourself. Just like a warrior repeats movements until they become instinct, you repeat empowering beliefs until they become your default reaction to stress, pressure, and doubt. This shift is not comfortable. It will feel like tearing old skin, like breaking habits that have wrapped around your spirit for years. Your environment, your friends, even your own emotions will try to drag you back to the person you used to be. But remember, the game rewards those who endure discomfort for long-term advantage. A true mindset shift means you start loving discipline more than dopamine, progress more than excuses, growth more than comfort. When something goes wrong, you don't break, you analyze. When someone disrespects you, you don't rage blindly, you respond with calm, cold clarity. When fear appears, you don't run, you move forward with trembling legs but unshaken resolve. Slowly, your inner voice changes from an enemy to a commander. You stop negotiating with laziness. You stop explaining your limitations. You start acting like a player who understands their power, to pause, to choose, to adapt, to improve. That is the mindset shift, a radical internal rebellion where you step into the role of strategist, warrior, and creator of your own path. Emotional control is not about feeling nothing. It's about becoming the master of what you feel and how you respond. In the chaos of life's game, emotions are like sudden storms. unpredictable, intense, and capable of wrecking everything if you let them steer the ship. Most people are controlled by anger, fear, jealousy, and doubt, making impulsive moves that cost them relationships, opportunities, and self-respect. The samurai understood that a blade in the hands of an unstable heart is more dangerous to its wielder than to any enemy. Emotional control starts when you realize that your first reaction is not your final command. You can feel the fire without throwing it at someone. You can feel the fear without surrendering your next move. You step back internally, even in the heat of the moment, and ask, what is the wisest move here? That tiny pause is where the warrior separates from the crowd, turning raw emotion into sharpened awareness instead of chaos. To build emotional control, you must first learn to observe your emotions instead of becoming them. When anger rises, most people say, "I am angry," and lose themselves in the feeling. A warrior says, "Anger is present," and watches it like a passing storm cloud. That small shift in language is powerful. It creates distance between your core self and the emotion flowing through you. You are not your anger, your sadness, or your anxiety. You are the one who witnesses them. Think of your mind as a dojo, and your emotions as students rushing in, loud, wild, undisciplined. You do not kick them out, you train them. You breathe slowly when your chest tightens. You ground yourself when your thoughts start spiraling. You consciously relax your jaw, your hands, your shoulders when tension builds. These small physical actions send signals back to the brain, telling it, we are in control, we are not in danger. We choose the response. Over time, this becomes your default, stillness in the middle of emotional storms. Emotional control does not mean weakness or passivity. It's the highest form of strength because it allows you to choose strategy over impulse. When someone disrespects you, instead of exploding and losing power, you decide whether this situation deserves your energy or your silence. When life hits you with disappointment, you feel the sting fully, but you do not let it paralyze you. You use it as data, as feedback, as fuel to sharpen your path. You become dangerous in the best way, calm, unreadable, and deliberate. People who cannot control their emotions are easy to manipulate, easy to predict, and easy to break. You will not be one of them. You will train your emotional muscle daily, through discomfort, through difficult conversations, through delayed gratification, through choosing not to react when your ego is screaming. Eventually, you reach a point where your peace can't be stolen cheaply. Your emotions still exist, but they serve you now, instead of sabotaging you. That is emotional control, not the death of feeling, but the disciplined command of your inner world. Strategic patience is the art of moving slowly on the outside while thinking quickly on the inside. In a world addicted to instant results, quick wins, and fast validation, most people play life like reckless gamblers, pressing every button, chasing every opportunity, reacting to every emotion. A warrior plays differently. He understands that some victories require silence, time, and endurance. Strategic patience is not laziness or delay. It is the conscious decision to wait for the right moment to strike. The samurai did not swing his sword at every shadow. He watched, studied, and moved only when the opening appeared. In your life, this means resisting the urge to give up when results don't show immediately, refusing to chase every distraction, and understanding that mastery is built in seasons, not seconds. You hold your vision in your mind like a blade in its sheath, ready, focused, not rushing, not begging for shortcuts. To practice strategic patience, you must first accept that growth is not always visible. Seeds disappear into the soil long before they break the surface, but underground, they are busy building roots. Your habits work the same way. When you wake up early, train your body, study your craft, or control your impulses day after day, it might feel like nothing is changing. That's where most people quit. They believe effort without immediate reward is wasted. A warrior knows better. He trusts the unseen compounding of his actions. Strategic patience means you stay loyal to the process, even when your feelings are not loyal to you. You don't constantly dig up the seed to check if it's growing. You water it, protect it, and give it time. In relationships, in business, in self-transformation, patience allows you to observe patterns, understand people, and choose paths that will matter 5 years from now, not just 5 minutes from now. Strategic patience also means not reacting to life's bait. Opportunities will come that look good but pull you away from your path. People will provoke you, trying to drag you into drama or distractions. Your ego will want to prove itself, to respond, to rush, to demand recognition. But the warrior asks a different question. Does this serve my long-term strategy? Sometimes the most powerful move is to do nothing, to not respond, not quit, not rush. Not chase. You learn to hold your energy, to control your impulses, to conserve your strength for battles that actually matter. Over time, this makes you incredibly powerful. While others burn out chasing every small fight, you are quietly positioning yourself for decisive wins. Strategic patience sharpens your intuition and your timing. You know when to wait, when to prepare, and when to go all in with full force. It turns your life from a random sequence of reactions into a deliberate campaign of progress. Risk mastery is the ability to dance with danger without becoming reckless, to step into uncertainty with a calculated mind instead of a blind impulse. Most people either fear risk so much that they stay caged in comfort, or they chase it blindly like adrenaline addicts, destroying their stability and future. The warrior walks a third path. He understands that every level of the game of life is guarded by risk. New skills, new income, new status, new freedom, all demand that you step into the unknown. The samurai did not live for safety. He lived with purpose, and purpose always walks near the edge. Risk mastery means you don't worship safety, but you don't disrespect reality either. You study the battlefield, you weigh the cost. You understand the worst-case scenario and build yourself strong enough to survive it. Then, when the moment comes, you move forward, not because it is safe, but because it is necessary. To master risk, you must first destroy the illusion that comfort is security. The world changes whether you move or not. Skills get outdated, markets shift, people leave. Health fades if neglected. Avoiding risk does not protect you, it quietly traps you. A warrior understands that staying where you are is also a risk, often the most dangerous one. So instead of running from fear, you sit with it and investigate it. What exactly am I afraid of losing? What is the true cost if I fail? What is the cost if I never try? You begin to see that many of your fears are exaggerated stories from your mind, not objective truth. Risk mastery means breaking big, terrifying leaps into smaller, controlled steps. Instead of quitting everything overnight to chase a dream blindly, you prepare in the shadows. You build skills, save resources, test ideas, learn from mentors, and move with structure. You still feel fear, but it no longer paralyzes you, it informs you. Risk mastery also means taking responsibility for the outcome, whether you win or lose. When a warrior chooses a path, he does not blame fate, family, or fortune if it goes wrong. He studies the loss, extracts the lesson, and sharpens his strategy. This mindset frees you from the fear of looking stupid, being judged, or failing publicly. You know that every master is built on a pile of controlled failures. You don't gamble your future on ego. You bet on calculated moves, backed by discipline and preparation. Over time, you become the kind of person who is dangerous to stagnation. Willing to walk away from fake comfort, willing to start again stronger, willing to bet on long-term growth instead of short-term applause. Others see chaos, you see probabilities. Others freeze in uncertainty. You move with informed courage. That is risk mastery. Not the absence of fear, but the trained ability to move forward wisely even while fear speaks. Daily rituals are the invisible architecture of a warrior's life, the unseen code that silently rewrites who you become. Most people wait for motivation, for the right mood, for some big event to change their lives, and in doing so they stay stuck in cycles of chaos and inconsistency. A samurai lives differently. He understands that the smallest actions, repeated daily, carve the deepest patterns into the mind and spirit. Your rituals are your true religion. What you do every morning, every night, every time you face boredom or stress. Do you reach for your phone or for your purpose? Do you choose distraction or discipline? Daily rituals are how you turn ideals into instinct. You don't just want to be focused, calm, and powerful. You train it into yourself through repeated behaviors that align with your higher self instead of your weaker impulses. To build powerful daily rituals, you must start simple but stay ruthless. The goal is not to create a perfect aesthetic routine that looks good on social media. It is to build a system that slowly makes you unrecognizable to your old self. Maybe your morning ritual becomes a sacred sequence, waking up at a set time, making your bed like a soldier preparing camp, drinking water, moving your body, and giving your mind a clear command for the day. Even 5 or 10 minutes of focused practice, a short workout, breathing exercises, journaling your goals, reading something that sharpens your mind, can shift your entire trajectory. The key is consistency, not intensity. A warrior would rather perform a small ritual every day than a massive one once a week. With time, these actions stop feeling forced and start feeling like your natural state. You feel off when you skip them, just like a samurai would feel naked without his blade. Daily rituals also act as anchors in emotional storms. When life hits you with stress, loss, or chaos, your mind will try to pull you back into old destructive patterns. This is where your rituals protect you. Training, journaling, meditating, practicing gratitude, studying your craft. These are not just tasks. They are grounding techniques that pull you back to your path when everything tries to derail you. You begin to trust yourself because you see proof every day that you show up. Over time, your rituals separate you from the average person. While others waste their mornings in distraction and their nights in regret, you are quietly stacking wins, sharpening your edge, and reinforcing an identity built on action, not talk. Eventually, your daily rituals become your silent superpower. You don't need to announce your grind. Your focus, energy, and presence will speak it for you. Unbreakable focus is the ability to lock your mind onto a single target while the world screams for your attention. Most people live with scattered energy. Half on their goals, half on their notifications, half on other people's opinions, and half on their own doubts. No blade can cut cleanly if it's shaking, and no mind can create a powerful life if it's constantly pulled in 1,000 directions. The samurai understood this deeply. When he stepped onto the battlefield, there was no room for distraction, no space for idle thoughts. It was him, his blade, and the present moment. Unbreakable focus means you treat your mission the same way. When you work, you work. When you train, you train. You teach your mind that there are moments in the day where nothing exists except the task in front of you and the standard you've set for yourself. To build unbreakable focus, you must first admit how addicted you are to mental noise. Your phone, your habits, your constant urge to check, scroll, and escape have trained your brain to expect stimulation every few seconds. A warrior reverses this. He trains his mind like a muscle, starting with small blocks of deep, uninterrupted work. You set a timer, shut down distractions, and commit fully to one mission. Studying, building, training, planning, until the time is done. At first, your mind will resist. It will itch for dopamine, wander, complain. But like holding a stance longer than your legs want to, this is how you grow stronger. Each time you pull your attention back to the task, you're sharpening your mental blade. Over days and weeks, something powerful happens. Your ability to enter that locked-in state becomes faster, deeper, and more natural. You begin to taste the power of true concentration. Unbreakable focus also means knowing what to ignore. Not every message deserves a reply. Not every opinion deserves your energy. Not every opportunity deserves your time. The warrior of focus is ruthless with his attention because he knows it is his most valuable weapon. You decide what your top priorities are and you protect them like sacred ground. During your focused hours, you are unreachable to nonsense. People may call you cold, distant, or obsessed. Let them talk. They do not see the empire you are building in silence. Over time, this focus creates a gap between you and the average. While others drown in distraction, you are stacking skills, finishing projects, mastering your craft. Your results begin to look like luck to outsiders, but you know the truth. It is the compound interest of thousands of moments where you chose focus over chaos. That is unbreakable focus. When your mind obeys your will, not the world's noise. Warriors, if you've listened this far, understand something clearly. Life will not hand you peace, power, or purpose. You must forge them with your own hands. You are not here by accident. You pressed play. You stayed through the fire, and that means there is a part of you that refuses to live like a background character in your own story. From mindset shift to emotional control, from strategic patience to daily rituals, risk mastery, and unbreakable focus. You now hold the blueprint to hack this game instead of being defeated by it. But a map is useless if you don't walk the path. So, from tonight onward, act like a samurai of this era. Guard your time, train your spirit, upgrade your habits. Choose moves that your future self will thank you for. If this message hit your soul, comment, "I will not waste my life." Subscribe. And stay with this clan of warriors who choose discipline over excuses. Thank you for standing with me in this dojo of the mind. Now step back into the world, not as a victim of the game, but as a player who knows exactly how to break it.